Alright, guys, we gather here today for the Siyum Meschet of Bava, Batra, by our own form of Abaye and Rabbah here, Idan and Eitan. They always finish things together here. And this opportunity, first of all, I would like to welcome all of you and then welcome Eitan that is coming back from Israel after being over there on secret missions for quite a while. For
8 months.
8 months, yes,
Wow.
8 months, yes. And, yeah, he came to give birth here in America, Baruch Hashem, and that's the Masechta that came out. So, you know, I'm very proud of the two of them. I'm very proud of all of you that come every night to learn. Before you know it, they already finished over 2/3 of the Gemara, doing Daf Yomi, one day at a time. You finish it, and the whole thing is to start. You don't start, you don't finish. You start step by step. It doesn't make a difference how fast you go, how slow you go, as long as you keep moving forward. And that's what we try. That's what we try to do here. These are the gates of those gates. The Bavot, Bava Kama, Bava Metzia, Bava Batra, are not just gates, you know, by the name. They're also gates for Kedusha. Those Masechtot are very, very difficult, very hard to learn, and yet extremely, extremely enjoyable. Of course, if you want to go to law school, that will help you as well. But these are just and they're kind of almost like in the middle of, you know, they're so big, but it really is the gate of Kedusha, of a Talmud, of becoming a Ben Torah, becoming a person that we should. I think it was Rab Chaim said that they should not call the Bachurei Yeshiva, right, by the name of Bachur Yeshiva. We should call them Bnei Yeshiva, because the Yeshiva is like the mother. But those Bavot are very, very difficult, and you find a vast amount of information in them. Learning those Masechtot, those tractates, help you also with finding what I called the word, what is emet. As we said it beforehand, the word sheker more or less are in the you know, in somewhat of an order, right? It's kufresh shin, right? And here it's shin kufresh, but it's sheker. Versus the word emet, which is aleph, mem, and taf, mem being the middle, and aleph and taf. There is a tremendous remez here that one can understand and one can get. If you want to be able to see the truth, you need to be able to see everything from aleph to taf, from beginning to an end, and then you take the middle path. When you define your boundaries, when you see things, then you can walk a truthful path. But when you have a narrow perspective, you cannot see the truth because you have a very small perspective. I would also like to welcome Rabbi Yanis that just walked in. So Rabbi Yanis, thank you. You want some pizza? So one of the things that those Masechtot, those Bavot help you to do is because of the vastness of information that is in it, to be able to see everything from Aleph to Taf, and then to be able to take the middle path in the middle. And this is how when you learn Gemara, you have this rabbi arguing with this one, and the other rabbi arguing with the other one, and this opinion we count, this opinion we don't count. There's always the question, why does, you know? The answer is to teach you to see and to count and to pay attention to everyone's opinion. Every opinion counts. Whether we paskin like this or we not paskin like this, every opinion counts here. Because here it's not about who is right and who is wrong. It's about finding the truth. And when you are finding the truth, you need to hear everybody equally. And those Masechtot are the Aleph, Mem, and Taf, the Emet, Bava Kama, Bava Metzia, and Bava Batra. As far as I'm concerned, they are the bulk of what it is. I mean, there's a very fascinating topics that are going in there, but it's just simply amazing. So I really wish, first of all, to all of us, to be able to continue learning and teaching, and Lagdil Torah U'Ladira, Lekadeshem Shamayim Barabim. And I wish on all of us to continue and finish many Masechtot, but especially our two Abaye and Rabbah of our Yeshiva here, that today I love to see them wearing suits, Baruch Hashem, or jackets. But Nevertheless, they are simply amazing in their ability to just plow through day after day after day, and to go to over almost like 2,000 dapim of Gemara. They've been going, actually less than that, but over 1,000 something pages of Gemara that they've been going through every single day. That takes a tremendous, tremendous dedication. They did it, which is a wonderful thing. You could do it also. The question is, when are you going to start? When are you going to start? Don't be afraid. Everybody can do it. Everybody can finish. Everybody can finish the whole entire Shas. The only thing is the most difficult thing. You need to start. And then the second difficult thing is to continue to the next page. So I wish HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give you all the koach. And instead of looking for easy life and good life and more money, we should ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give us the koach to deal with challenges that are facing us, with hardship, to have the koach and the ability to overcome this, and to have the emunah to continue going b'derech Hashem, and Bezrat Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach, together us in the yeshiva and the dear people of the shul, that we are absolutely grateful for their hospitality and their appreciation of Torah, which is really not just taken for granted. This is simply unbelievable, and I really appreciate it. So Rabbi Yanis says, כמה מילים תגיד לנו. אחר כך אתה אומר, בסדר. Which one of you want to talk? איתן, יאללה, אורח, בא. זה לא אורח, זה ושבו בנים בגבולם.
No, he wants to keep one day.
Yeah. No, he's keeping 2 days. Keeping 2 days. Yeah, 2 days, חביבי. בלי אגב.
So it's a while since I've been back up here. So Meschet, Bava, it's actually the Meschet in the Gemara that actually is the longest by page numbers. It's 175 daf, and it's pretty crazy to think, for 175 days straight, you're just going one page, front and back, another day. So that was, it's definitely very, just like when you actually think, like what the Rav was saying, so much time has passed, since I remember starting Daf Yomi back, it was during COVID, right? It was 29, it was the Siyum Mashas. Back then, I was just watching it on YouTube. I'm like, okay, I can't really go out anywhere. I don't remember if it was COVID or maybe it was winter, I forget. But I'm like, okay, it's cool. And then the next day I'm like, all right, who knows? I'll just open it up. It's starting, but okay, if I fall off. And here we are, I don't know, 5 years later, we're still going strong. And that's also one of the big things, if you set the bar way too high for yourself, I'm going to finish shots, this, that, you might fall off, but it's taking incremental steps, little by little. So for me, this is actually, sorry to pull out some notes, I just jotted down. So this was actually, is a very international Meschet for me. All the places I learned this Gemara, it's crazy when I was thinking about it. I was thinking what's been, just everything. We'll start, So this one, specifically, Batra, I've learned it at the Kotel, Kotel Maravi in Yerushalayim. I've learned it in the mountains in Tzfat. I've learned it throughout Israel in a lot of different places. I've been on the, I've learned it on the train. I've learned it in the airport. Then I've learned it in Greece, in Araxos in Greece. Then I learned it in Athens in Greece. And then I learned it...
Saloniki.
So then I learned it in Athens, and then after that, then I learned it in Mykonos, and then I learned it in Naxos, and then I learned it in Saloniki. And then from Saloniki, then I ended up in Germany, and then I learned it in Germany. And then on the day of Shiva Sabbat Tammuz, I went to Dachau, the concentration camp, and I learned it at the gas chamber right there. Just thinking I didn't want to, for every second I was there, I said, I don't want to enjoy this place. Every second I'm here, I want to make sure it's something that I'm going to feel your past, who you are, what your lineage is, where you come from. So, and it was interesting because, my grandfather actually, he was part of the U.S. Army, and he was part of the liberation team from, during World War II, and they helped, clear out Dachau, so it was really powerful coming back over 70 years later and actually being in the concentration camp where my grandfather was, except now here, learning Torah right by the gas chambers, saying, we're still here. So that was very powerful, and then in Parashat, okay, then I was learning in Frankfurt, and then basically, eventually Larnaca, Cyprus, just all these, and now back in the U.S. Because it was funny, because this was the first daf that I didn't start in the U.S., but I'm finishing in the U.S. So it's pretty funny. So and that's really one of the beauties of daf yomi. It's like wherever you go, this is something that you do. The same way you brush your teeth every morning, the same way maybe you make your whatever specific breakfast or your coffee every single morning. It's like, it's drilled into my brain, I'm sure you're down as well. I do daf yomi every morning. It's like one of those things that are part of your routine. So, and once it actually becomes embedded inside of you, you're going to see also the rest of your life follow being able to get more routine in good ways, not in ways that is like you're robotic or it's like ADD or this or that, but in ways that your routines are actually helping you grow. Okay, so there's just one part of the Gemara. Obviously there's a lot here, but this one really stood out to me. So it says, basically it's on Daf Tet, or on the ninth page, and it's talking about charity. Here we got to coordinate. So it says, Rabbi Shua ben Levi Omer. I'll just.
No, it's different. There's a lot of it.
Okay, I'll just run through it quick in English. It says Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Anyone who habitually performs acts of charity, will have sons who possess wisdom, wealth, and knowledge of the Agada. He's going to be rewarded measure for measure. The way Hashem operates is lefum tzara agra. The way that what you put in is what you get out. It's not like you went to the mechanic and you didn't fix your car and then you didn't pay him. No, it's in Hashem's eyes, the mechanic still gets paid even though he didn't fix your car. So it says, it says they'll possess wisdom, your sons, when you give charity. As it's written, Yom Chayim, he who pursues charity will find life. And his sons will possess wealth, for it's written, regarding charity, and finally his sons will possess agada, for it's written honor. So they'll be honored by all because of, as masters of the agada, they'll inspire the public with their homiletics discourses. So then it says, it's written here, I'm just going to run quick, it's written here, and it says here, the wise man shall inherit honor. And it was talking about, Rabbi Meir was one to say, the person who has an argument to answer you and tell you, if your God is truly a lover of the poor, if they're good people, why are they poor? So it says, for what reason does he not sustain them? Why does it look like this in our brain that Hashem doesn't take care of people that are poor? So Amar Lo Rabbi Meir says, it's because we're actually the ones being saved from this Gehenna, or things that maybe would have happened if by me taking from myself and giving to someone else is such a big deal. Like if you really realize what tzedakah is, like over here we don't feel it so much. I know we were talking about it a little bit, this past week, especially being in Israel and being in a lot of places where there's zero wealth. People are struggling. It looks like they're dirt poor, and over here it's like you're thinking, okay, I'm giving money, I'm giving to this organization, this, that, and you don't actually see what happens behind closed doors after that. But when you actually see the people that you're giving to and seeing that they're the ones that actually need it, and if there's so much of it, it hits you differently, and you realize that when you're giving from yourself. Say you make $100 a day, and I just gave someone $50. I just gave someone, whatever, 8 hours, so 4 hours of my time, assuming you have an 8-hour workday. That's like, you're taking from yourself, from your life, and giving to someone else. And I'm not going to go on, there's a lot here, but basically that's a very big idea. So we should be zocha that we should be able to give a lot of tzedakah in abundance, and to know that when I give tzedakah, if I don't feel it a little, like, should I give this amount, not give that amount, that means it's probably the right thing. But like if it's $1, and I don't remember I gave $1, it wasn't a challenge for this person. So, it's testing your boundaries, doing things obviously responsibly as well, but, so thank you for allowing me to speak.
Welcome. That was amazing about the Dachau. Go ahead.
Is that work time? B'shut Ha'av, B'shut Ha'avianat, B'shut Mr. David. Thank you for everyone for allowing us to do this. So, like me and Eitan actually I chose like the similar pages in to discuss tonight. So.
You see, that shows it's a match made in heaven.
And there's 170.
Yeah, 175 daf. What are the statistics?
And by the way, both of them are looking for a shidduch. They're available on the market. Sorry, Josh.
So in his introduction to the Mishnah, the Rambam explains that Rabbi Yehuda Nasi divided the Meschet of these three. It was originally called the Meschet Nezikin. It was in three, and he divided into three. Bava Kama, like the Rebbe said, the first gate. Bava Metzia, the middle gate, and Bava Batra, the last gate. Bava Kama discusses damages caused by ox, pit, fire, and a person injuring another. Before doing anything else, a judge must first ensure to prevent damage to people. That's the judge's number one priority, to make sure no one's damaging each other. So that's why Rebbe put Bava Kama first. Next, Bava Metzia speaks about topics such as monetary claims, deposits, hires, borrowers, renters, and the reason he put that second is because in the Torah, first it speaks about the ox, pit, fire, and then it goes into the four custodians: a borrower, lender, paid custodian, and all that. So that's why Rambam put it next, because it follows next in the Torah, chronologically. And then the last one, which is our tractate, is Bava Batra, which speaks about topics like the division of the land, of land, like if people inherit a land division, jointly owned dwellings, if people own a courtyard together, and what you do, where you put stuff and stuff like that. Responsibilities of neighbors, cancellation of sale when a defect is found, sales, purchases, guarantor, and inheritances. So Rabbi Yehuda Nasi put this last because it's based on traditions. There's not a lot of psukim in this one. The first two, there's a lot of psukim. We darshan a lot of psukim, but this one there's not a lot of psukim, and logical reasons are and they're not derived from verses. After teaching us about the laws, Rebbe placed Sanhedrin next, which focuses on the judges who rule on these laws. So that's why first the laws and next is Sanhedrin. So the closing mission or Meschet has Rabbi Yishmael saying, one who wishes to become wise should occupy himself with the study of monetary law. If a person wants to become wise, study monetary law, like these, the Bavas. We can suggest that monetary law ensures that people don't get cheated and will receive what is fair and just. But that's one level. A higher level, like I'm saying, is tzedakah. That's the level of making sure everything's fair is one level, but then another level is tzedakah. That's something that might not be so apparent. Someone might say, oh, monetary case I understand, but tzedakah, I work for it, why should I have to give it to others? So that's why Hashem tells us we have to give tzedakah. So in the first chapter, like we said, it speaks about tzedakah. So I'm going to quote, it's right before what Eitan said. So it says, Amar Rabbi Yitzchak said, someone who chases after tzedakah will get tzedakah. So what are you saying? I chase after tzedakah and I'm going to get poor and then someone's going to give me tzedakah? It doesn't make sense. I just gave tzedakah. Now I'm going to get poor, so what does it mean? Mishum de'odef tzedakah yimtza tzedakah. I chase after tzedakah and now I'm going to have to be a recipient of tzedakah? It doesn't make sense. So Ela Malach, where it says, Kol ha'odef achat tzedakah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mamtzi lo ma'ot ve'oseh behen tzedakah. Not that you're going to get tzedakah, you give tzedakah, Hashem's going to give you more funds to be able to give more tzedakah. So that's a rule. The Maharsha says a little differently. He says one who cannot afford to give charity but pursues others. Let's say I don't have my personal money, but I tell others to give charity. In that case, then I'll become prosperous myself, and then I give my own charity. If I convince others to give tzedakah, then I'm going to get my own Bezrat Hashem. So one story that I remember that I looked up that had to do this.
That's what I said. These are the Sha'arei Kedusha, right? It teaches you how to appropriately interact with other people.
Yeah. So a story about this that I looked up is in Masechet Kala, which is one of the minor tractates. It says, it's a popular story, that Rabbi Tarfon once, he was very wealthy, but he did not give gifts, he did not give zakat in as much as he, I don't want to say anything about Rabbi Tarfon, but according to this, he could have gave more, even though he gave a lot. So once Rabbi Akiva met him and said, Master, would you like me to purchase 1 or 2 cities for you? I could purchase cities for you. He replied, yes. And he gave Rabbi Akiva 4,000 golden dinars. Rabbi Akiva took the money and distributed it among the poor. He gave it to tzedakah. Later, Rabbi Tarfon met him and asked, where are the cities? You said you bought me cities. I gave you 4,000 dinarim. Rabbi Akiva took him by the hand and took him to the Beit Midrash. He opened up a book of Tehillim and he said to Rabbi Tarfon, the pasuk, Pizer Natan Le'avyonim Tzidkato Omedet Ad Karno Tohum Bechavod. He gives freely to the poor, his beneficence lasts forever, his horn is exalted in honor. Meaning, if a person gives tzedakah, Hashem will save for him for Olam Haba, so it's worth to give tzedakah. You asked me to do an investment for you, I did the best investment you could possibly ask for. I made sure you give tzedakah. So Rabbi Tarfon stood up, kissed him, and said, my teacher and my friend, even though Rabbi Akiva was actually a student, he said, you're my colleague because you're so wise, and my friend in social contact, and give him more money to give to tzedakah. We know that Rabbi Akiva began as a poor man, and eventually he became rich himself. We know that Rabbi Akiva used to be very poor, so this could be another reason why, because he made sure to persuade other people to give tzedakah. Rabbi Nachman Bar Yitzchak says further that Hashem will present him with people who are worthy recipients of tzedakah. Sometimes we don't know, a person wonders, oh, should I give him? Hashem will give us people who we know, who are for sure good, so you get the ultimate schar of giving them tzedakah. So this, how do we know? What does it mean you get more recipients to give tzedakah? It's like it says in the Mishnah in Perkei Avot, schar mitzvah mitzvah. You do a mitzvah, Hashem will give you the opportunity to do another mitzvah. You give, Hashem will give you more money. You give, Hashem will give you more people to give.
Mitzvah or different mitzvah.
Yeah. So that, like we said yesterday with the Rav, we said a mitzvah has two parts: the keren, the principle, and the dividends or the fruits. So the dividends are received in this world, while the principle remains for us intact for Olam Haba. An example of this, and I'm going to finish off with this. An example of this, just like we give tzedakah, we get more. Same thing for other things that we do a mitzvah, whether it's learning the Torah or whether it's doing anything, we do a mitzvah, we get more. So this is also a famous story, but it's worth saying again. I saw it in Rav Vadia Sefer Anaf Etzavot, the English edition. So it said, he brings it from the Tana Deve Eliyahu. He says, before the Beit HaMikdash was built, during the times of the Shoftim, the Holy Ark, the Mishkan, the Aron HaKodesh, was housed in the Mishkan in Shiloh. And however, most of the Jewish people had stopped going to the Mishkan to bring offerings during the Sholosh Regalim. And then one man, named Elkanah, who was a Levi, who lived in the tribal territory of Ephraim, would travel there every holiday with his family, and they would sleep in the city streets along their journey. He would go with a lot of procession and sleep in the city streets and with everyone, the roads with everyone. So everyone in the city would notice and would be inspired to join them and say, oh wow, Elkanah's going, let me join him. And then before you know it, more families would join as they travel from city to city. Once over 60 families were traveling together.
Who was his wife?
Hana.
Who was his son?
That's what. So I wanted it to be a cliffhanger. Elkanah would take a different road each time, and eventually all of the Jewish people would once again travel to Mishkan during the holidays. So he restarted this whole custom, a law, and everybody go. Elkanah had brought merit to the Jewish people and tipped the scales of judgment in their favor. Hashem said to Elkanah, just as you have brought merit to the Jewish people, I swear that you will have a son who will likewise bring merit to the Jewish people. He shall guide them in the path of the mitzvot, and that son was the Navi Shemuel. So this is another example of the reward for a mitzvah. So we do mitzvot, Bezat Hashem will end up doing more mitzvot, and Hashem will give us the opportunity to do more, and may we all could do more mitzvot, and may the captives come back, and may we not have to suffer, no one to suffer, and we all have good lives from here and forever. Amen.
But what is it going to Eretz Israel, to learn Torah in Eretz Israel? We should have the schut to move this yeshiva in the shul to Eretz Israel so we can finish the whole Shas there together.
Amen.
This year.
Amen.
So,
Not this year now.
Yeah, we can say.
Alright, so it says, we're talking now basically about a case where someone is strangling someone else because he owes the other guy a debt, and now the third party comes, he walks around, he walks and he sees that this guy's murdering this guy basically. So he says, look, like I'll pay this guy's debt for him, and he makes a kinyan. The question is, does this guy actually have to pay the debt, or is it just to stop him from killing the other guy? That's basically the case. Amar Bid Amar Shmuel Chanuk says if one consented to become a guarantor to save one being strangled, v'kanu miadoni performed the kinyan mishtabed, then he has to do a pledge. Because he made a kinyan, he said, I'm gonna pay you back, and then he did something to actually affect that promise. This implies that in general, when the debtor is not being strangled, a guarantor does not require a kinyan to make his pledge binding. And this conflicts with the ruling of Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman, it says Rav Nachman, Arev David Din Hudlo by kinyan. It's only a guarantor of the court who does not require a kinyan to formalize his commitment. Habama by kinyan. This ruling of Rav Nachman implies that in general, a guarantor does require a kinyan to formalize his commitment, meaning he's taking the obligation to repay someone else's debt or this person.
Okay. So Gemara concludes with the final ruling. Vehilchatan halacha is that Arev shvishat matan ma'ot lo ba'ei kinyan. A guarantor who commits himself at the time of the money is given to the borrower does not require a kinyan to formalize commitment. Right? If he does it at the time he gives it to him, because when he does it at the time he gives it to him, then the guy who gives it trusts him. He's basically acting as his agent. He's acting as the guarantor's agent to give it to the borrower. Achal matan ma'ot. But a guarantor commits himself after the money is given to the borrower, meaning they already signed and then he said, "Oh, I'm going to be a guarantor." By kinyan, he requires a kinyan because it's already late. Arev de beit din lo by kinyan, and a guarantor of the court does not require a kinyan to formalize his commitment, even if he is appointed after the loan was extended. Because if you're part of the court, then the court kind of makes you do it because they're there. It's like witnesses are there. Because in consideration of the satisfaction he derives from the knowledge he is trusted by the court, because he says, "Oh, the court trusts me," so it's considered Gamal Mishavele. He resolves and obligates himself even without kinyan to be a guarantor, even after the witnesses sign. So Adarach get Bashud. We shall return to get Bashud. Adarach Mesel Bava Batra.